Listening to Wolf Spirit Radio.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today at Answers from the Universe and the Andronicus transmissions. So as usual, we always have something to talk about, and today is one of those days where we're going to have, information-packed show. I have a few transmissions, but I also have a message from the Eons from Milo that will take place towards the end of the first hour. I'm going to have the Serotep and Bilar on. And then on my second hour, I'm going to interview with Peter, the Insider, who has an update of something that's going on within the timelines. And so he can go into more of a description on that. But meanwhile, I'd like to say hello, JP. It's nice to be here, and ask how you doing.
I'm doing all right. I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. And how's you?
Yeah, I'm doing well, and as usual, there's lots and lots of things going on. This whole situation about these children that were rescued from Monarch has kind of amped up, and I've had the opportunity to kind of spend some time with them. And some of the stuff is just unbelievable. But it's very, very it's a great pleasure to be able to meet some of them and discuss some of the things that went on and things that they know about or have experienced. And so we might be talking about some of that stuff later, but I've been having communications with them the past couple weeks, and it's been quite an experience for me. So there's this other side of this work that people just kind of get a glimpse of, and when you do, it's pretty interesting. It's very, very interesting.
It must be harrowing. Because it doesn't even go there.
It's shocking. It's like a culture shock that these type of things are allowed, but we're not dealing with typical human experiences. Monarch Solutions is, they've broken every human rights rule possible, and violation of sovereignty and all sorts of things, and when you find children that were gifted, that they were subjected to all sorts of things just because they wanted to be used for their abilities. So, I do have some abilities of seeing, but it's nothing close to some of the stuff that they were able to do. And, in some ways, I guess, for us that kind of have a glimpse of things, that we weren't, we were pulled into the programs in some way, but, not to this degree. And, it's almost like, well, wouldn't it be cool to have this ability or that ability? But then you get targeted. So, it just brings in another perspective of things. So, my heart really goes out for them, and I feel a lot of, sadness and, injustice, and so I know people talk about this stuff all the time, about how, they feel violated or whatever, and it would be really great. I'm glad that we have an open place to discuss these things, but it'll be really great when it just stops happening altogether. So that's someday that I'll definitely celebrate in the future. So maybe we'll talk about that more when Peter comes on, and meanwhile we'll get to the transmissions right now and see what's going on. We'll start off with Andronicus. Hello, Andronicus. I see you are still in Zephyron, but you look a bit perplexed.
There's an anomaly here. I see the landscape of terraforming that I created at times. Then it transforms into a desert, and then it transforms to a forest. I'm not sure what's going on, but somehow it's related to a dimensional shift. And I need to find out where Borkum is.
I was told by Milo of the Eons that there is a problem on the 13th parallel where the Eons have a small civilization there. Then he said that Borkum was there trying to gain control over a hostile attack upon the Eons by the Vinkala, or the reptilians as you know it.
I thought I was hearing him yelling, but I thought I was hallucinating. It didn't make any sense to me, so that's where we went. I will be honest, I was rather enjoying the peace and quiet of his absence, but can see that I really tuned him out and wasn't aware there was a bigger issue and he may have been in need of help. Let me contact him now. I think he was just being his usual self and talking loudly. Borkum, are you there? Can you hear me?
I'm a bit busy at the moment. I have 15 Vinkala to manage right now, and they're willing to be transported to another planet. We go through this every time. When are they going to learn? I swear they act out just for me to show up and tell them what to do.
Well, that's because you treat them like they're your pets.
What else are they? They obey like dogs, and seem to like being told what to do or commanded to hold rank and order. Don't have any problem with them.
I agree. No one seems to understand your strange relationship with these beings. Very well. So you have that managed. Then why were you yelling?
I caught them trying to eat a human. It was disgusting. That one will not be allowed to leave. I think he was contaminated. Some kind of chemical manipulation, maybe? He was an odd one. I want to find a safe place to further observe the group that I have to see if others are also contaminated. I have the Bilar helping me. Andronicus, what about Zephron? Can we bring them all back there and test them out?
After all the hard work I did at terraforming Zephron, we want to bring the Vinkala here and turn it back into a barren land?
I'll keep an eye on them and make sure they don't do that.
Well, there's another problem. There seems to be a dimensional rift. The planet keeps shifting to what I planted and then back to a barren planet, and it looked as it did before I did any work here. And then to a fully established forest. I even saw sand on the planet for a moment. None of this is making sense.
Oh, well, I might have done that. I was trying to get your attention by shifting dimensions a bit.
You know that's a violation. What made you do something like that?
I needed your attention. I had to do something with the Vinkala, and here you are. It seemed to work, didn't it?
What is your plan if you bring them here? There goes my quiet farm initiative. You're about to introduce extreme chaos into my utopian garden. Is there never a time to create and rest with you?
I can have them build bridges and move large rocks for you.
Very well, Borkum. I know you're set on coming here. Please make sure the 13th parallel is secured for the Eons. We don't want to see that any children are harmed or any fires start up from the Vinkala. I know that Bilar gets upset easily after the wildfires of Dionysus.
All gates will be closed and sealed. It's easy enough for the children to do it. You'll see that the Vinkala will behave well and keep good manners while on the planet Zephron. After all, they may remember the original Zephron and find it appeals to them. Well, let's make sure they don't cause us problems like the last time they were on the planet. Besides, how are you so sure this isn't the original planet Zephron? Well, if it is, how did it get all the way across the galaxy?
Well, that's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Two voices. Borkum's makes my voice hurt sometimes. You have to put this strain on it. Anyway, there you go.
I think you're out of Borkum practice.
Yeah.
But that's okay. It still worked. It still worked.
I missed him a bit.
I know. He's a character. Always thinking of something, and he's treating these reptilians like they're his, under his command. Everything, he just snaps right into order, doesn't he?
Well, there you go. There's Borkum.
Oh, we got Meetis next. We have Andronicus, Meetis, and Gary today.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hello, Flower. I want to show you this lovely red jacket I got today. It has gold trimming around the sleeve and a slit in the back so I can sit comfortably without my jacket tugging on me while I sit. I've been eating too many crumpets and potatoes lately, and they're starting to expand my belly a bit. I used to have such a slim silhouette, and now I look a bit like a middle-aged man. Didn't come to my attention until Miss Caroline and the one you call Ches made a comment. I think they would fancy seeing me a bit rotund.
Are you sure? You just wanted to make sure they are just trying to make sure you're fed and cared for.
Well, that may be it, but they have a kind of motherly way about them. We should have more mothers on our planet. So many are trying to fit in or appear to be like the upper crust, and they're abandoning the good-hearted love of a motherly type of woman. Why do they make these women feel unappealing? I think they're lovely and sweet. They will stitch your socks if you have a tear in them. They'll give you a warm drink and dry your clothing if you're caught in the rain. They will sing a sweet song while cooking, even if it is a bit out of key. It always has personality to me. I've watched some mothers care holding a child while cooking a stew and cleaning in the house, all in one swoop. Talented they are. Bright and shining like the new day sun. Mothers are what bring us love when crowd shoots us and kicks us away. They have forgiving love, unconditional love. Maternal love is what is lacking in your reality now. See this coat? Bright red, shiny coat given to me by a mother with 5 children and a household of 2 dogs to spare. It was made of leftover material from the dresses she made for her daughters. She said I sang so nicely that she wanted to give me something to remember her. I suppose my melody stayed in her head for weeks and brought her stories and songs to share with her children. Her husband, Marty, is a kind soul, and he gave me 2 potted flowers of jonquils and a bag full of potatoes, a loaf of wheat bread with a bit of barley in it, some smoked cheese and a few onions. I couldn't be happier. Neighbours, friends, mothers, life is good again. I have a pot of stew in front of me. Harriet gave it to me. I don't think I can eat it all, so I invited the orphans to come and have dinner with me. I call them the Lost Boys. Jacob, John, Henry, Bobby, Jeffy, Lyle, Trenton, Eldridge, Todd and Barry. I gave them their names. They're going to be good citizens one day. I told them I would care for them if they would break away from the thievery. So far, so good. There are a few girls wandering around as well. I sent them to Harriet to help them to find decent homes. The boys, on the other hand, want to live a bit free. Most of them range from the age of 9 to 12, almost adults, and I decided to prepare them for adulthood. I got them small jobs where they can make furniture and horseshoes and grommets and horse harnesses, and others are fantastic couriers if they're more trusted. Trenton is very musically inclined, and he and Todd make their own instruments. I believe they want to be bards or troubadours. They have the best teacher in the world. Come closer and listen to this instrument. Oh. I don't know if it's finely tuned. Yeah. Come closer and listen to this instrument. It's finely tuned and can carry such clarity to all who hear it. I made it special for the heavy-hearted that need a bit of lightness to lift themselves up from the difficulty of life. Here they come to listen and sing with me. Table for 2, a time to bid adieu, a leprechaun fancy of magical news. A turtle dove sings, reminding of us of things that they begin nowadays, singing, dreaming of giving. Oh, damn. I've just gone all the way down, 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 down. I'm happy with all of you. I wouldn't do anything else. I want you to be with me and be happy with yourselves. Be alive and well. There's no need to rebel. There's plenty for everyone. This is double space, so I keep having to scroll it down. So look out for yourselves, and while you are working, be mindful of others. Be happy you are well enough to make enough to fill the cupboards. The time will not be lean, will be abundant as can be. No need to be full of vanity, just be happy to be free. I am now your friend. I will be here to the end. And make sure my many fellows thrive here. And take care of our green earthen gem. So take care for the day. We want you all to stay. Be at peace in your mind. You are loved by the divine. La la la, la la la. You are loved by the divine. La la la, la 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 la. You are loved by the divine.
Hooray! Very nice.
A little bit of D major for you. So, well, hang on. Yeah, I normally save it into a different file so I can see it all on one page. But I just had to keep scrolling every so often. Sorry about that. So.
No, that's okay. It's, it's sort of the way it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So, let me gather the plastic microphone and engage the transporter beam. One to beam down. Hello. Oh, no.
Are you there?
I don't think the special microphone is working.
Oh no!
Hang on. What's happened here? 1, 2, 1, 2. 1 moment. 1, 2.
Okay.
Hello. Oh, Gary's voice has disappeared. What's happened here?
Magic microphone's not working?
Magic microphone's not working.
I'll
have to do it by hand, as it were. One, two. Hello. Yeah, the mic works. What's happened here?
One, two.
There it is.
There we are. Okay, well. Technical hitches, you humans and your technical things.
Should we start over again from the top?
Hello, Earthlings. Oh, what are you doing here? I was just about to do a presentation about the Earth's population. Are you spying on me again?
No, you invited me here. I don't know any way how I could be here. Well, what year is it anyhow?
It is, according to your human calculations, 2088, give or take a few years. I don't know if I want any of your pesky listeners to try to figure out where I'm at and what I'm doing. Humans have a strange interest in me. It's like I'm a celebrity.
Well, you wear those shiny black sunglasses like one.
Oh, you noticed. I'm blushing.
You're blushing, really? Well, they do look nice on you.
I knew you were going to say that before you said it. Everyone thinks I'm hot.
I'm sure they do, Gary. But by the way, I was told that you go by the name Jerry sometimes and other variations of your name.
I like to keep them guessing. Sometimes I will go somewhere, talk to someone, and then return the next day and act as if I don't know them, or they confuse me for somebody else.
Well, why would you do that?
I don't know. It feels right at the time. It's like ice cream. You can't just have rum raisin every day. Some days you want to have peach ice cream or unicorn sherbet. I get bored easily. They say it's because of my high intelligence.
Really? But it seems like it's not very nice for you to say hello one day and then say you don't know them another day.
I don't see it that way. You earthlings repeat the same stuff over and over again. Hello, how are you? How's the weather? La la la. That's boring. It's a repeat of the same ridiculous weather conversation over and over again. Why don't you all go out and buy a pair of lime green shoes and then talk about that during a greeting? Must it be so bland? I'm snoring right now. Blah, blah, blah. How is your day? And you don't mean it at all. It's a nervous reaction you all have and the need to fill up the earth with meaningless chatter. We discuss things of purpose. Otherwise, we snorkel.
What? You mean underwater, swimming and viewing sea life?
Yes.
I don't get it. That seems like it doesn't fit the conversation.
Which part?
How does snorkeling relate to human conversation?
It doesn't.
And that that's it?
Yeah. Let's talk next Tuesday about the weather.
Gary.
All right. We discovered you're not overpopulated, but have inefficient usage of land and sea. There's abundance for everyone once they begin to listen to us, the Earthers. That's all.
Did we not listen to you before?
Yes, they wanted to take our technology to destroy the planet with wars. So we confused them, and now 12 timelines are trying to intersect. 12 timelines are intersecting to prevent utter chaos and destruction in your world. Do you agree?
Well, I agree 100%, Gary. When will they listen to your ideas about population, abundance, and peaceful living?
When they begin eating bananas and cupcakes.
Okay, and you know that doesn't make any sense.
It makes a lot of sense. I wanted to say chocolate, but I'm afraid Primus gets addicted to chocolate. That's why we ban it on Jupiter. Shh, don't say it out loud, he takes offense to it.
Well, what about that Cadbury chocolate and stuff he has over there? Are you going to ban that as well?
No, it is the UK version of Twinkies. We don't want any rioting. Oh, I must go now. I'm getting angry glances. Farewell, Earthlings. And you, stop spying on me. Ta-ta!
Addicted to chocolate.
That's what he said. And that's why he took it off of Jupiter. He's the one that took it off of Jupiter.
That's Gary, I'll get him. Oh well, gotta be addicted to something.
I know. So,
meanwhile, 2 more serious items. Shall we add some people to this call?
yeah, we might as well play the song by Nick Drake, One of These Things, first. And then we'll bring in our guests. We'll be right back. Okay, and we are back, and I have 2 of my guests from the Eons. We have Bilar here and Serotep. And so we received a message from Milo, and so I thought it made sense to have Bilar read the message from Milo from the Eons. And I just want to say hello to everyone. Hello, Bilar. How are you?
Hi, Jessica. I'm really good. How are you? Hi, JP.
Hey there.
So we also have Serotep here, right? Serotep, you there?
Yes, hello everyone. Hi, Jess. Hi, JP. Nice to be with you guys.
Yeah.
So yes, I would like to read a message that it was sent to us by Milo. So here he goes. Milo, I would like to report that we have resolved a very long issue of the control system, reign of the oppression and terror on the earth by Akhenaten and his counterpart Nefertiti. Very few have knowledge and awareness of this long-lasting system on the earth that has been oppressing many civilizations over time by harnessing and accessing the power throughout the solar gates that were once cared for by Ra, Osiris, Set, and Horus. Contrary to popular belief, it was their misconduct, not Ra's. Regarding the misuse of the solar gates and its access to many suns throughout and beyond the universe. With full access to these gates, Akhenaten and his many minions were harnessing control, oppressing many species, including the human race, and exacting power and control over them by way of sun manipulation. Many of Earth's inhabitants were manipulated into serving these agendas without knowing the serious consequences to their own planet. You have also been informed that Monarch Solutions was one of the groups in full alliance with their agendas to manipulate humanity for their own advantage and gain. Today we have good news that the solar gates have been returned back to Ra, where they originated, and since he is one of the true sons, not a false son, as Akhenaten, we have tried to tell humanity about how Akhenaten and Nefertiti switched roles with Ra as a means to convince others of their own invincibility. We know that many of their missions were not fully successful due to their lack of persuasion upon other galactic councils and universal civilizations, and strong reactions from the central sun. Today we are pleased to inform you that you are freed from this system and are liberated from any accusations of alliance to sun manipulation. We are relieved to see that one system has collapsed those intentions were to control Earth throughout AI, and solar included mind control slavery. It may take a bit before things begin to normalize. They had intentions of destroying the living sun and replacing it with their artificial sun to further their effort to have full control over the entire galaxy. We have extracted and removed the false sun and destroyed it. It no longer presents a threat to you and those within the reach of the galaxy. Milo of the Eons. There you have it.
Yeah, that was an interesting message that came in today, and with a view of, I'm trying to see, I think it was last night that I saw, he showed me the false sun that they had created, and I won't tell anyone, where I saw it come out in the earth, but it was very strange looking, and it was like they were looking to replace our sun with that, and some of these solar flares, I think, were, from what I've seen from satellite in the past, were actually the sun was getting attacked or hit. And, this does happen on occasions where there's crafts that are out there and trying to create an event of some sort where, we're feeling here on the planet. So it's not a small matter, a very serious matter. And what I was not aware of was that Akhenaten was behind it, or at least this part. And there's many players in all of these different things that have happened, but you think, well, the story of Akhenaten is that he felt like he was the only one and only God, and then he, wanted to erase the history of all the other Egyptian deities, but somehow he gained access into this gateway, the Soul Gate, which seems like it opened up to access with other suns. throughout the universe, and having access to that was probably enabling him to gain power and persuasion, of course, and have, some kind of system that he was able to construct and work with. And to my understanding, it's been going on for a while. So they had recently returned the Sun Gate back to Ra and the others that had been connected to it. But I'm sure people will say, well, how do we know that Ra isn't going to do the similar thing? Well, this is something that he's had for a very long time, and I don't think he would abuse the power of himself. This is kind of something that belonged to him anyhow. So I just wanted to clarify what the message was about. I'm not concerned about Ra, Osiris, Set. I mean, they've already been around. They have their own personal power since they're very old beings, and they'll continue to be around. It's just when a being comes in and takes power from another and misuses that power is when we run into issues. So I'm not really sure who exactly constructed that false sun, but and I'm positive that thing, which was filled with AI and was meant to control us with, I don't believe that we'll ever have to experience that, fortunately. But I just wanted to get some feedback from you guys and what your thoughts were. Bilar?
Yes, I'm here. Well, what really surprised me, what we're still discovering, how in depth everything is, how everything entangled is. You remove one system from the left, one from the right, and then you come with something big like this that has been in play for a long time. And yeah, it's really fascinating to see that, we can resolve this right now. And yeah, we keep pushing forward with this. I'm pretty sure there's some other things that are also tied into this, but this was a big one to be removed, and it was successful in.
Yeah, no, it's a great victory. I mean, of course, there is more to be done, but I agree with just what you said. When you said that there were some times you saw, how they were targeting the sun with some weapons, and then targeting the sun at a certain angle, creating a reaction on the sun, such as a sort of flare, an explosion, a certain angle that was targeting Earth, and they were doing that. Supposedly these explosions were natural. I don't think they were, because I've seen.
You've seen satellite of that, as I have.
Oh yeah. Like live, literally something appearing, shooting certain angle, and then boom, reactions on the opposite side of the sun, a big, blast that was going straight to Earth. And then after that, you hear all these different groups talking about this magnificent event, that's going to bring ascension and awakening and all that. I don't think so. This is, for me, was all part of that control system before it was removed. Yesterday. It's all part of the same fake propaganda, pretty much. It's part of a control system. Was part of a control system. Now that Sun Gate network, being able to see it too, it's true. It is a whole transit network, that's composed of different Sun Gates, not just ours. And by controlling that whole network, the transit network, they had, access to pretty much the universe and beyond, different dimensions and beyond. So I guess this is why it was very easy for them to be able to control and let some of their minions, interfere in lives of other civilization.
Yeah.
Out there.
We had some other things come up, Serotep, because, this is a reminder that, the eons are from another universe. So, this is the group. Milo was the one that communicated with Carl Sagan when they were trying to reach out, and there was, also a response back. But, they have an interest in supporting us and have had a presence here. And, Milo said, said also that there was an issue with Serotep, because Serotep spent some time in Egypt and had a connection to Imhotep. And then there was also the Djoser that came up and some other things. So I don't know if you want to share a little bit about that, Serotep.
Well, no problem with that. Of course, trying to, gather all the pieces of the puzzle, make it as simple as possible. Pretty much what happened, it just didn't happen, with me. It happened with other, siblings on the planet, but, they pretty much, found a way to adjust the Eon consciousness and be able to use it for their own advantage. Pretty much as a battery fuel to fuel their agenda, and also because of the knowledge that it can, how you say that, they can have access to. But at the time, Imhotep was, considered as one of the prime minister architect of Djoser, which was a pharaoh at the time. He also built the first pyramid of Saqqara. And, but that being is, that Imhotep was definitely connected to some demons, because he was not working at all, for his own agenda. He was working for something else. I don't know if it's okay to talk about that right now. It's maybe too complex. But anyway, yeah, they have at the time adjusted my, energy and consciousness and used it to fuel an agenda that was completely, that was working against humanity pretty much. Of course, all that is also connected to the Maximus Rufus. It's very complex, and as you said, Bilar, it's entangled with so many different on so many different levels. But by removing, and it was also connected to Cain, right?
Yeah, a lot of them, were kind of. Well, Cain was involved with the Maximus Rufus, or he came from Rev 1. And, and he survived or came over after the flood. Right. But, he was definitely, had his own agenda as well. And so you see all these different players kind of entangled in these things. So people say, well, why don't they just wipe out this one or clear this one? It's because there's usually a lot of good people or beings that are kind of entangled as well. So they, it just can't be done that way, so.
And what we discovered, which is for me absolutely amazing to see, they all work the same way. They have one blueprint, is they will never do themselves the bad acts. They will hijack a being that's working completely connected to source. They will hijack that being, take his energy, use his beautiful energy to feed their nasty agenda, and then when it's done, who is blamed? Not them, the one who has been hijacked. That's how they work. So this is why it's very hard to find who they are most of the time, So they're not very brave.
Yeah, it's like those serial killers, you wonder who's using them, and it's recently I was talking to someone that was was discussing the Slender Man. These things exist. They're there, but a lot of times they hide or they move through a human body, and nobody understands what in the world's going on. And so you have this energy or being that overtakes a soul that just is depressed, is on meds or drugs or alcohol, and you kind of have a vacancy there, and these things manipulate. But you have a being that gets access to something that I would say is like a broadcasting spot, like the solar connection. A solar gate is a place where they can project and send out impressions, send out mind control, send out all sorts of things, because it's almost like a very powerful network. These are like the pedestals of where these beings were that we called the gods, right? And they had a way of communicating. that we didn't understand. So, and people are learning about this kind of stuff because when some of these beings, disappear and then another one shows up, you could see that, how easily another group can come into power, and if they control these power points, these power locations.
No, absolutely.
But had an interest in Akhenaten had an interest in doing, like, taking you in again, which was weird, but he wanted to use you again for some other agenda.
Well, the thing is, it's like Draco and all these guys. One day have you, they think they had you for a while. Once you set yourself free, or, through the help, of course, and you set yourself free, they never consider yourself as free. They think they own you, right? Because you pretty much one of their belongings, right? So this is why they will never let go of you until they are completely taken down. And it's I'm not scared of that at all. I know that at the end of the day, as Ians and working with all the other beautiful beings out there, there will be a point in time where this universe will be free from all these megalomaniacs.
Yeah, and there's many that are working together to make the change on the planet. Yeah. And we're just trying to listen and hear what they have to say, and also to help others to understand that there are benevolent beings out there that are here to support us, that we often feel like we're alone in this whole thing, but we're not.
No, we're not. And what is for me absolutely amazing to see, and I think Bilar, you might agree with me, is that those beings are never advertising what they do, or why they do it, or what they're gonna do. They just do it. You just see the result after. They work pretty much silently, and this is fantastic for me to see that when compared to some of others that you can hear that are very, they have loud voices on the net and on some YouTube channels. Talk a lot, but not a lot is done. And most of the time, they discover that they're working with the other guys. See what I mean? So I am impressed to see how Andronicus and Rodan and then Milo and all these guys are working. They're just very dedicated, and they really care about humans, this planet, the solar system, and this universe. They really do. They really do care. It's great.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, because that's why I would like to take a moment to really thank them all the galactic friends, family, everybody who's been supporting us so far in this in this ugly and mess that we're trying to untangle everything. And I would really like to thank them all from our hearts. It means a lot to us, and the freedom is the one that we're seeking all for. And because it's the key answers to everything else that is around us. So I would really like to thank all the galactic help we had so far, and we continue having from day to day. So that. It means a lot that we have these beings, family and friends, supporting us along the way. So that means a lot.
Yeah.
It does, yeah. Yeah, it's nice to know that they're in our corner. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, right. And this is the effort of many, And as you said, the very thing we all have in common. All those working for, all together here for connected to source. They got sources. The freedom, the love of freedom, the love of source, of course, but freedom. That is something important. And this is what happened today with the message from Milo. It is a day of freedom today. Of course, we'll take some time to, bring everything back to normal. But, the system, the control system, they were pretty much hijacking the whole transit network, the whole sun gates. It's back into the hands of his lawful I would say, owner, if I could say, Ra, which is a wonderful thing.
Well, I think it's a lot of the stuff that a lot of things that were supposed to happen will not happen, which is great news. I mean, a lot of people say, well, we have no proof that was going to happen. Well, that's fine. I'm glad that we don't have to experience it, and I don't have to be right, or none of these beings feel like they need to be right. They just want to be there to support and make sure that everything is safe. But I will tell you, and I have no other reason to say it, I saw that artificial sun and I was stunned. So I don't know what their intentions were, but they were planning on doing something. So anyhow, we're running out of time. We have we have Peter the Insider coming to speak with us for the next hour, and I just want to express gratitude and thanks to Serotep and to Bilar and to Milo from the Eons. Thank you so much for being here, sharing your information, and we'll keep in touch.
It's always a pleasure being with you guys, and looking forward to the next time.
Thank you very much, guys, for all the support.
Thank you. Yeah. Have a wonderful day.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Happy Freedom Day.
Happy Freedom Day, yeah. Happy
Thank
Sunday.
you all.
Oh, yeah.
Or Soul Day, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay, a tune and then Peter.
Yes, perfect.
Jess? Well, welcome back to Answers from the News. There you are.
Here I am. Sorry I was muted. Well, we are back, and thank you for hanging around for the second hour of the show. This is great. We have Peter the Insider here to share some updated information. So, hello, Peter. How are you today?
Oh, crazy stuff is going on all around the world.
Well, why don't you share with us? You can, you say whatever you want to tell us and get us updated with what's new.
I tried to think in different ways, and I was thinking like, okay, and what's not new? And because so many stuff is going on right now,
Yeah. Well, I mentioned, we had quite a few children have been rescued from Monarch.
Not children anymore, but...
Yeah. Well, they were taken when they were children.
Yes, you are right.
Okay. Now that's a great success. I mean, that's a really big victory. Monarch has had a tremendous amount of control and power, and they seem to be losing that control, and we're grateful for the ACIO for assisting in rescuing the super soldiers, for rescuing them.
Yes, that's true. It wasn't easy. It was like, big boy mission, if you wanna call it that way.
Right. And it's approximately how many have been rescued up to today?
More than 70, 75, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, and they were reporting me. I mean, for me, not the crazy stuff, but for many people who are listening to us, like weird events. They are like they are dealing with merging, and that's a problem because they are like dimensions. Okay, not the single complicated stuff, but it's very big difference between reality and timeline. And the question is, how many people truly understand this kind of difference, right?
Right.
Because reality is only reality, what means, sorry, my bad. Timeline is a timeline, so it's very similar to our timeline, and there are only few changes. Problem is with reality, how can I say that? Major stuff is totally different, and it caused big differences. For example, reality when Nazis won Second World War, for example, right? And these young people rescued from monarch slavery, they told me about, like, can we call it the apocalypse? Can we call it like that?
Yeah, the apocalypse. They saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they told me, like, it wasn't exactly that, but it looked like nuking. You know what I mean? Like atomic,
a nuclear attack.
Yeah, nuclear attack.
Just to clarify, this is not in our timeline, correct?
Yep. It was in timeline where apocalypse, like if you wanna call it that way, when shit hit the fan, and it was like non-sinners and chosen one went to heaven through the Eden's gate, and sinners went to the hell, haunted by hellhounds. Right.
Right. So the hellhounds, they said, dragged them into this place with this satanic being, and then the others went, the ones that were escorted up into this literal gateway that led into Eden.
Yep, you are absolutely right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they told me as well. So, but this is what they talked about in the Bible is happening, but it's not in our timeline.
Yes, it is not yet, but it will be, while we will be shifting into fifth dimension, or if you wanna call it that way, fifth, density, or density of fifth level. It's practically, I don't want to say it is the same, but it's practically the same. This sort of hell will be not the real deal hell, right? But it will be for them who are like, who are like damned, or who will be damned, if you want to call it that way. They will stay here. I mean, like in third dimension or 3D.
If they want to ascend into the fifth dimension, they'll stay here in the third dimension. It will be like a nightmare for them.
Yes, exactly.
This
process of shifting to fifth dimension and differencing and all kind of this similar stuff, it will look like apocalypse via like nuking each other and all kind of the stuff. But it will be all kind of this dirt and bad stuff. They will experienced here, and we will be pretty much clear and pretty much okay in fifth dimension. That's I don't want to say it will be the case, okay? No, I don't want to say that is that way, but that's the point of view how these monarchs, super powered super soldiers saw it. If I am telling and naming them right away, because you've got personal experience, personal encounter with them. I'm talking to you, Jessica. So tell tell us or share with us your experiences, you know,
Well,
your impressions from them. Tell us, because I've got some sort of feelings about them. So tell me.
Well, the first thing I felt, Peter, was extreme compassion, because they were robbed of their childhood, and they were huge violations against them with strange, like forced to watch pornography at a really young age, and just trying to be mind controlled and then drugged, and horrible things. But yet these people are like beautiful souls. Beautiful, and they have tremendous sadness about what they were forced to do, and feel responsible for certain things, and want to really make it right. And so, and they're really making a huge effort to, find their own sovereignty, because they felt like they couldn't make their own choices. They were completely dominated and controlled. And so, when they stepped out of that, they would get punished or they would be threatened. And so, this is a really very serious situation. So, after having a discussion with them, I'm seeing how that they're growing and they're learning, but they're so very gifted too. They have abilities, like amazing abilities, and unfortunately those abilities were used for the agendas of monarchs.
Sorry for interrupting you. Not used, misused.
Misused, yeah, absolutely.
Because it's different. Being used and being misused. It's different.
Right, and it was. Either way. It was a horrible situation, and I think they're heroic. They've done some amazing things since they've been with the ACIO, and they took back CERN. And they also did something with the oscillator. Is that right? Maybe we should. It will be fair for our listeners to clarify what oscillator is in essence, right? Because MSL, what's acronym for Monarch Solutions Limited. So I wanna say, like, the worst of bad guys all around the world. Am I right? Right. Mm-hmm.
They made two machines because they wanna their own. Ultimate goal was to mess up with time and space. So they made first one, CERN in Switzerland. What they planned to mess with the space, and second one, they call it oscillator. They are this huge underground facility is in the northeastern part of US, in Canadian border, like very close to Great Lakes, right?
Right.
And it served for messing up with time, right? And they took the CERN. Our children, if we wanna call them that way, right? And afterwards, they tried to, respectively, they focused took the oscillator over, but it took him some time to realize, okay, why we always lose, because it's small thing. It's like 1 feet, 8 inches and 4 inches. So small stuff, not the big stuff, countermeasure. And immediately afterwards, they they get this countermeasure out of service, it was practically just like that, and bam, oscillator was out of work. So that was the stuff they did. And it's up to you to talk about what they are going through these days. Do you want to talk about it publicly or not? Because they told me that you can. But it's up to you.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're going through like a lot of stuff, and meanwhile they're still going on missions.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the religious stuff, if you want to call it that way.
Yeah.
Because they told me that you can do it.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, they went through the problems with, getting through the drugs and then having a lot of emotions and feelings for different things and not really knowing how to do it. And then it turned out that they started to find their connection to the God source and started to feel they had some interesting experiences, and something happened when they transported over to Florida. I guess they were in a church, and
Yes.
Now they have explain what happened there, Peter. That they were levitating and.
Yeah, but no. We need to clarify it, because there are some solid timeline, because for them it's not time. It doesn't worth to talk about time, because they are perceiving time as another very highly developed, especially astral beings are perceiving the time. So it is like there is no past, present, and future. No, they can see all the different stuff at once. Okay, so they told me from our perspective, from human alike perspective, that first they need to be clarified. And I was like, okay, what are you talking about? That this shooter in Florida, he killed like 14 or 17 people, young people, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All of these people, young people, teenagers, they were not, how can I say that, like random ones. And I was like, what are you talking about, like random ones? And they told me that some of them were like drug dealing, making some sort of how can I say that, selling people for slavery, for organs, prostitutions, all kind of the stuff. They were providing weapons, what is like totally banned for random civilians, army stuff and all kind of bad stuff. So they told me like that this kind of shooter, like madman, if you wanna call it that way, was there in order to purify the city. Not only the city, the area, right? And afterwards, Jesus with his witnesses, only afterwards, Jesus with his witnesses can come into the area. It's weird for me. At least for me, it's weird. But that was their, clarification. Am I right? Because you
right.
So,
and so, there are many beings that exist and that are around our planet, and Jesus is one of them, right? Jesus existed. We know that.
Yes.
But there's a lot of stories and information. Some of it's true, some of it's not true of our history of Jesus, but they were able to go back in time and meet him
Yes, that's true. And just by the way, they got original Bible. I mean, they not call it Bible, but
The original writings, yeah.
Original scripture with big S, like capital S. They call it scripture. Yes. Not Bible or something, or writing, scripture with capital S. Yes. Sorry, I interrupt you.
Yeah, that's before governments and the Roman Catholic Church and other governments stepped in and manipulated the writings. Of course, there were a few translations, right? So you have the original, there was Hebrew, then there was Aramaic, there was Greek, and so there was, and then of course it went into Latin.
That was like, bad stuff.
Yes. Well, that's when it started changing the meaning so that they have, earlier form, of that, the writings. And so they've been reading it lately, trying to, learn and I think they're trying to correct some of the things that are bothering them about their conscience, about what they were forced to do. So this is helping them get through it.
Yeah, you are right. Pretty much right.
And they're wonderful people. I mean, they're wonderful, but some of the stuff that they can do, they were telling me that, like you said, they were telling me they can do all this stuff. And one of the things that they were going to do is they were going to help create some kind of medicines to heal people from very serious diseases. And they were going in to take care of that. And I said, how do you find time to work, to create all this stuff for other people and, sort through your own stuff? And they said that they can get into this, into the timeline. So it's like...
Yeah, no, not timelines. Time and space bubbles. And they can create, how they want. That's the stuff.
So, yeah, and they were talking about doing a lot of really amazing things, and now they have the opportunity to do that, and they're supported in doing that, and they want to give back to humanity.
Yeah, but this is it, because from my opinion, okay, just sorry for interrupting you, but from my opinion, where is action, there is always reaction. And look at that. How many bad things monarch did to people. How many things they totally messed up. And it was only a matter of time when their imperium will totally collapse. And this is it. This is consequence, because they made action. I mean, monarch made action, and this is reaction. Am I right?
You're right. And Peter, how close are we to taking monarch down? I mean, are we getting close to that?
Problem is we need to, if you wanna call it that way, of course, we need to play it tricky. So it's not so easy to shut them down completely, right? It's not like, just like that. It will take some time, but what's more important is that they know that their final hours, it's, how can I say that, the clock is ticking, right? And for example, look at that, what they are doing, for example, in Middle Europe. They killed my personal friend, very good friend. I talked about it in James Ring's show and all kind of stuff. Jan Kuciak, what is like John Kuciak, right? He was making he tried to gather all kind of different materials about him, because his official work was investigative journalism, right? But his real deal work was about make some huge mind-blowing whistleblowing about what the heck is going on in Middle Europe with Monarch, and he was killed. Afterwards, immediately afterwards, I don't want to say it was revolution, but it was almost the revolution in Slovakia. The same stuff in Czech Republic. So it's my homeland. For example, Orbán Viktor, what is like because they are using vice versa, not first name at first and the second name in second, but vice versa in Hungary. He got, like I don't know, like 130 out of 200 mandates in parliament, and bam, he was almost killed by some sniper shooter, attack, and it happened only like today or tomorrow, something like that, and that's the problem, because they know what the heck is going on, what's in stake. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and so, but that's the area where you've kind of rescued some of these people.
No, you are not right. Not some of these. All of them. All of them.
Okay. And also, from what I've learned, and I don't know if we're allowed to talk about this, regarding...
And sorry for interrupting you. And if we wanna call him right way, Viktor Orbán, and Orbán Viktor in Hungarian way, he's prime minister. Not just some random guy, some random politician, just by the way. So this is a real deal. This is not a playground. This is serious stuff.
Yeah, and that's how they're retaliating if anyone, tries to disclose what they're doing, and this is why not many people are talking about it.
Yes, exactly.
And, well, I don't know how much it put me in a situation, but I've kind of been moving around myself. And so, well, whatever reason, we had that 12D, causing some problems for me, but, and I know that, James also has been in a situation, cause we're just trying to put the information out there, but it's a little tricky, I'm not worried about it, but I do know that it's because they're in a more of a weakened state that I can talk about it. They're not as powerful as they were before, but they're not completely gone yet. So we want to just make sure that everyone gets out of there safely, and all the people that need to be rescued from there can be returned to a safe place.
Yes, you are right.
There is something else that was brought to my attention, and I'm not sure if we can talk about it, but I'll just say that, there was also a group that was rescued, in the future. Are we allowed to talk about that?
I don't know, if you've got permission from these people who were rescued. I don't know. It's your business. It's not my business at all. Sorry.
Well, I know that it was just another mission that was taking place, that they were rescued from Monarch in the future. So
yes, it was in 2000 what?
48, 50?
2000? Yeah. No, 2048. They ran out of the facility, and they were homeless for 2 years, and they were rescued from 2050. Am I right?
Right. That's what I heard. Is they actually, so Monarch goes into the future and continues doing all of this stuff. So they actually started rescuing people.
Sorry for interrupting you again. You didn't get it at all? They will never stop it. because they are crazy. Once they will be here, they will never stop it. No.
Peter, someone from the chat asked, her name's Meetis, said, are these leaders clones from Monarch?
Leaders, well,
those that are in charge of Monarch, are they clones?
yeah, but look at that. It's not so complicated. It's like, what do you think, who is Kevin Spacey? He's not the real Kevin Spacey. He's
Paul Serene?
Paul Serene, yes. He's Paul Serene. He's not Kevin Spacey, and that's the stuff. What do you think? Why he is so goddamn good in playing negative roles? No, because he is not playing it. He's acting naturally, in his natural way, in his mindset. He is not acting at all. What's so complicated there? Tell me.
But there's more than one of him, right? There's multiple clones.
Multiple clones, yes, you are right. We in ACIO counted like between 50 and 60 clones, yes.
Wow. Just of Paul Serene.
Yes, Paul Serene, aka Kevin Spacey. It's
right.
Crazy.
And if anyone ever heard this, they'd say that that's just crazy. How can a celebrity be doing that?
You know, I know that it's crazy, but this is it how, this is it how it is.
Well, this is, the people that we're speaking to right now are more open and understand that not everything is in, a lot of the truth is hidden, and there's a lot of illusion and lies, and so they can see past it.
Yes, you are right. Yes, you are right. But for many other people, everything at least what I am talking about, it's some total bullshit. Sorry for language,
Right. So, but anyhow, what I was getting at is that this group of people that were rescued are have been on missions to help rescue others.
Yes, and they told me that they are not into battle missions. I mean, once not they found God, but God found them, am I right?
Right.
And they are like, slowing the time or steal countermeasures and all kind of stuff. And so it's fun to do that because they've made videos, and I was like, this is real video, and because I was thinking that they made up some sort of stuff because it is possible. And in between, there was some real timing, and I was like, seriously? This can't be real. And they told me like, okay, this is like 1% of normal flow of the time, or 1/10 of percent. I was like, this is crazy.
This is when they went to take apart the oscillator, they slowed down time instead of when they were forced by Monarch, they had to do more aggressive missions, and here they want to do everything, like they don't want to hurt anyone, they just want to shut down the machinery.
Yep, you are right.
Slowed everything down so that no one could really do anything. It's almost like Quicksilver in the what do they call it? The comic strips, Marvel Comics.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Slowing everything down, and then they were able to move through. That was the impression that I got, which was pretty amazing that they can do that.
Exactly.
And that's what we needed, and we've been waiting for a long time for some of this stuff to get shut down, and we obviously have a lot of problems, but it looks like they're going in to try to resolve many of the problems, all in such a short period of time, and it's only because they're starting to feel like they're loved and they're cared about, and that there's some kindness in this world. And I think it's opening up their hearts to want to, be here and to help out. And that's really important, that the ACIO is creating an environment for them. And, they talk about cooking and having meals together and
yes, but this is it, because that was our special squad who rescued them. I don't want to say our special squad, but this squad was created by Lincoln Clay himself, with our support, if I want to be more specific, right?
He's a super soldier. Lincoln Clay is a big, huge guy. He's a super soldier.
Yeah,
right?
he's almost 7 feet tall. He's like 6'9", 6'10", something like that, and very muscular. He's Afro-American, but not fully. He's like 3/4 quarters, something like that, and very funny guy, nice kind guy, and he was through like lot of missions, and he's not typically aged, because he talked about First World War, Second World War, Vietnam. He was in Iraq during 91, all kind of stuff. So his age is just a little bit tricky to determine. Do you know what I mean?
I do, yeah. Yeah.
But he's very good. He's very good one.
They time travel, is that what you would call it? That they go through?
Yeah, but not only time travel. It is like re-aging or de-aging, if you want to call it that way.
Mm-hmm.
This is it, at least from my point of view.
Well, I find it all, it's really straight out of the science fiction books. For those people that are listening, you say, wow, this stuff is actually, it's amazing, but think about, how challenging some of these things are to get resolved, and they're getting resolved. It requires sort of, higher abilities than the average that humans have to be able to do some of these.
Yeah, but this is crazy. For example, how these young people, how they were made to be totally depending, for example, with this AI, because it was not real person. It was, I'm talking about it as real female, but it was AI, but it was a robot. And it took him extremely long time to accept that it wasn't Mama. It was like some
they thought it was their mother, right? So
yeah,
mother replacement. It was a robot.
Some sort of
android.
Yes, but I mean like some sort of slang of mother. All of them call it that way, like Mama, and it was Android. And I was like, hey, no, it's not a mother or Mama. It was Android, and they were like, no, you are not right. We want our Mama back.
Yeah,
okay.
They said that to me too, and it was like that they'd listen. The Android AI was programmed to control them and tell them what they needed to do all the time, so they never were able to access their own free will. It was like a total mind manipulation.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah.
And I know they knew that there was something wrong with it, but after a while, it was just like they didn't know. They grew to accept it. was this android with them from the very beginning.
I know, but it's good to have at least someone to talk about it, and what's more important, to talk about it publicly, because these people are extremely important for our future, for not only for our who are listening to us right now, but for our mankind. Believe it or not, people, it's true. Am I right?
Right. Right. And they're going to help change some things for humanity, and you never know who is out there that is the key, the missing key of those that are here to support us, but yet they've been hijacked, or taken out of where they can actually assist us. And those are like some of the people that are very brilliant, and in this case, these are the gifted people that were pulled apart and used for agendas instead of being here to help in a way that made more sense and to be able to change the world as it needs to at this point.
Yeah, we're absolutely right.
So we're learning a lot, or learning and listening through their eyes and ears and what they're experiencing, and it's really, like I said, I have moments where I feel really happy for them, and seeing them grow so rapidly, like within days, just understanding something and then making a major change. Their desire to do what's good, we want to continue to support them in helping, because it's going to make a big difference. It really is. But it's been a pleasure talking to them. I enjoy it so much, and the ideas and the different things that they come up with, and how that they're starting to explore and experience, the way life can be with their own free will. I mean, it's literally they're like prisoners.
Yes, you are right. They wasn't like physical prisoners. The worst part of the story was they were mental prisoners.
Right. They're completely, threatened and not allowed to make their own choice. So sovereignty is going to mean a lot to them. Feeling free to make their own choices is something that they're exploring right now. And you'd say, like, well, how in the world did this get to this degree? This is how insidious this group is. And the ones that are involved in it. Now, I heard that Simyase was involved with some very abusive things as well.
Yeah, but what's wrong with this entity? Tell me. I mean, she's always doing bad stuff. She's like enjoying it. What's wrong with astral entities who enjoying torture, doing bad stuff to the others? What's wrong with them? Crap.
I don't know. I mean, I don't understand what her purpose is, if she even has a purpose or whatever she is. But the things that I heard that she did were, really unforgivable, actually. I mean, it just, I don't think she should never be around children.
Yeah.
I don't know what her purpose is. I mean, and if any human acted halfway as bad, half the stuff that she did, they would be locked away and isolated somewhere. That's how bad it is.
I know you are right. Believe me, I know it.
So, I mean, this is what's been hard for me, just to hear some of the things that have happened, and I'm sure I only heard a small portion of it. But no human should be treated the way that I call them children, because to me, emotionally, I can feel them as children, as there's an innocence about them, and a kindness that's trying to figure out why things happened, And I deal with a lot of different people that have been through trauma and even people that have been abducted, and there's this like sadness, like someone took something from them that they can't quite retrieve again.
Yeah, but who and how will just take something from them that technically, like, they are so stuck and they don't know how to feel right, and they are just in pure, hate and doing all kind of crazy stuff just by fear, or I don't know. It's so weird.
It is. The whole thing's very, we can't imagine it. We can't even, understand if you're not in that situation. The only thing I could say is there are people regular people that were molested or mistreated here and that I've had as clients, and I see them struggle with this stuff. So, this is not to say that any one situation is worse than the other. They're all horrible. But in this case, there were so many different bad things that happened. And
yes, because technically, just by the way, sorry for interrupting you, but once you mentioned Semyase, I don't want to say in all, but like 80 or not 80, 90% of bad stuff I was facing in the past, Semyase was involved, and I was like, what the heck? What's wrong with this entity? And I was, what the fudge?
Yeah. And so she must, it's the same thing. She's done quite a bit to me as well. And it's like, well, what, maybe she knew that we were going to talk about her in the future.
Yes, it's highly probable. You are right.
But,
because she can get into mess up with the time, and she was like, they want to talk about me. No, I want to prevent that.
Right, and then she wants to go after family members. She goes after friends. She manipulates people. It's really, it's obsessive.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm assuming that in the future this gets resolved. I'm asking if you have any confirmation on that, Peter.
What do you mean, like?
Well, if something, something gets resolved with Semyase, that she is brought to some point where she cannot come here anymore, or I don't know. Do you know what happens in the future regarding her?
You need to, or we need to wait. We need to wait. Because I don't know the future. I am not the prophet. Do you know what I mean?
No, I know, but we do have people that go step into the future when, to look at things. But I understand we probably can't even bring it up and talk about it.
Yes, you are right. I know.
But we'll leave it at this, that things are getting better. Right?
I know that. It will be.
And like I said, I'm grateful for the big change that's starting to happen, and that I'm looking forward to a lot of things getting resolved, and I think we'll continue helping and supporting those who are doing so, who are able to access different things in different timelines and so forth, to help the earth be a better place and help with the process of ascension and bringing out the information that needs to come out.
But believe me that it's not so easy to do that. And even revealing this sort of information, it's not just like that.
No, I understand, but you know what, Peter? I mean, if we talked about a year ago, I don't think we would have imagined that some of this good stuff had happened.
Oh, definitely, you are absolutely right. Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, we were felt a little bit more hopeless. I mean, we had a lot of things happening, and some of it just, some of it's still around, but not as bad as it was. So, I don't know if there's a status at all. We have a few more minutes. Is there anything else that you would like to share? We have probably about 5 minutes or so.
Yes. I think that the major stuff what is going on right now in these days, it is that they are fixing, I mean these young people are fixing all the bad stuff what's happening all around the world via this what is like anomalies all around the world, like time and space anomalies. I think that we talked about it or not.
Right. I don't know if we covered that so much. It might have to come on another time to talk more about that.
Yeah, we can. Yes, we can. But I'm talking about like planes and planes landing in other part of the world, or train just went out of the tunnel in another country, or all kind of this crazy ass different stuff. And they are real deal good stuff, doing a real deal good stuff in order to fix it, because they know that all of this cost them, not because they want to, but because they were fooled, they were tricked by MSL, what means Monarch Solutions. But I think that we can talk about it in another show. Am I right?
Right, and maybe more information will come out. Just a quick question before we go, Peter. From the chat room, Mace to ask, will the alien implants be dissolved at some point?
This is other stuff I want to talk about another time, because they are doing cure, if you want to call it that way, cure for it too. These young people freed from monarch slavery, they are doing this too. Yep.
So that they're helping with the removal of alien implants.
Yup, exactly.
Yeah, because we have people in the chat, people possibly in the chat room or others listening to the show that have been impacted by implants, and so.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I want to say thank you very much, Peter, for being on the show. As usual, I appreciate your insights, and and I also am grateful to be able to interact with our friends who were rescued and doing work.
Thank you.
And ACLO is also doing amazing work in helping the planet. So we're grateful, and come again and be on the show whenever you want. And is there any last words, any way that you want people to contact you or anything like that, or what would you like?
No, I think that we are okay for now.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and thank you, JP. Thank you to all of our listeners and those in the chat room. Have a wonderful week, and I will be back again next week. So until then, peace, love, harmony, blessings to all.